I want to share with you a quick journaling tip. If you have done a spread and you're a bit concerned about its sort of longevity, maybe you've used some water soluble media and you're thinking, oh, what happens if I spill water on this, or at a later stage some of the water soaks through to this spread, it's all going to run. How can I protect it? You could just spray it with a varnish, just an acrylic varnish. That would have the advantage of having some UV protection, but given that this isn't a book, that doesn't particularly matter. You can get matte varnish, you can get satin or gloss, and that might suit you, but it's really smelly, let's be honest. Aerosols aren't brilliant if you can avoid them, maybe. What it won't do is kind of unify the page. So what I like to do is to wax my spreads. Now you might think, what on earth is she talking about? The best known art wax is something like Dorland's, and it's cold wax medium, so at room temperature it is a paste. It's made from beeswax and daimar resin with a little bit of solvent to keep it as a paste, but it doesn't have a nasty smell at all. So it's odorless mineral spirits, I think is the official title. So it doesn't smell of white spirit. It is a sensible precaution, obviously, to have it in a well ventilated area. I have waxed this spread so you can see that it is not sticky. You can't hear that sticking at all. This hardens, and once it has cured, it doesn't get sticky, it won't melt. Even 30, 40 degrees summer temperature, this will not melt. For Americans, that's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it will still be fine. It is an American product and it's gorgeous. It's archival, so it won't yellow with time. It's neutral, acid neutral, so it won't make your paper brittle or anything like that. So you can use that. In the UK, it's expensive and it can be quite hard to get. So given that this is my experimental journal and it's for me, I'm happy to use other products. What I particularly like using is this Annie Sloan chalk paint wax. It's clear, or it dries clear. If you look at it, again, it's a white paste. I do not know the pH of this. I know it doesn't yellow over time. It doesn't smell. It must have some solvents in it to keep it as a paste, but it's really, really good, and it's far cheaper. That would have been about £16, I think, for all that, whereas I'm pretty sure that was 14, something like that, 12, 14 for, well, a quarter of the amount. Just started, oh look, you can see this is £16.95. Trying this French chic wax. So it says it's virtually odorless and clear wax, again doesn't yellow with time, and it's a lot easier to get hold of. Word of caution, if on your mixed media piece you have used anything like oil pastels, wax crayons, certain coloured pencils which are wax based, don't do this because they will dissolve in the wax. They will smear. Watercolour and water soluble won't, because there is no water in these. But if you've got anything that is oil or wax based, there is a danger that it will smear. Yeah, these yellow dots, if you can see them, are actually Neocolour, which are a water soluble wax crayon or wax pastel. And I was very concerned that they would move, but they don't appear to have at all. I did it very carefully just to make sure. Great thing about this is you apply it, let it dry, buff it, and it just comes to a slight sheen, and it will unify your page, because on this one I had some slightly sparkly copper, and then this was matte because it's watercolour, and you will get a nice sheen across the whole thing. Once it's dry, pages will not stick together, so just don't worry about that at all. Let me show you how easy it is. So I'm going to take out those little inserts. Now I've got a pocket on this spread, so I'm going to have to be careful because I don't want that pocket to stick. I'm not going to be able to get right to the bottom, but it'll still be fine. I think I will use that French chic one simply because it's my newest and I haven't, oh, well, I've used it once. You can see that's what I used on the previous spread, and I want to see what it's like. You can apply it with your fingers. It has very low amounts of solvent in it, and odourless mineral spirits do not get absorbed through your skin into your body. If you are sensitive to solvents, I would suggest wearing gloves or using a big brush just to apply this. But if you're not and you're happy, that's fine. All I'm doing is gently rubbing it into the page, so it's not exactly tricky. You can feel that's the reason I like to use my fingers, is you can feel it dragging when you start to run out. I've put a piece of just photocopier paper down so that it doesn't go into the next page. That just protects it, and you can see why that's necessary. Rub it into the pocket and then rub it into here. Oops, I've got that in the wrong place. So that just protects the other parts of the book. The thing I like about this wax finish is that it sort of deepens the colours, so it protects, it waterproofs the page, it sort of unifies the surface by providing a uniform finish, but it also just enhances the colours slightly, and I just think it's beautiful. Use this finish on your paintings rather than just on your journal. In case I would err on the side of caution and use the proper artist wax, because I don't know the longevity of this. If you're selling a piece of work, you probably can't take that risk, but this is for me and for my joy, so it is fine. And now we have to wait. Depending on the temperature and the humidity and all those things and how much you've actually put on is the time that it'll take to dry. Well, this French chic says a minimum of 45 minutes. Wash any brush with warm soapy water, so I will be washing my hands with warm soapy water. Dorlands I usually dry overnight, and same with the Annie Sloan, so I'll be interested whether this does dry quicker. If you have put on a bit too much, you can just take off some excess with a bit of kitchen towel or a rag or anything like that. You could do 2 coats if you want, but given that it's in a book, I don't think it needs that much protection. Leave your book open so that it can dry off, and then when it's touch dry, so your finger doesn't come away feeling oily, we can buff this and then our page is protected. Anyway, once it's dry, just get a clean lint-free cloth, and you can give it a gentle buff, and that's literally a circular motion. You could leave it matte if you want, but if you want that little sheen, just give it a gentle buff. I'll just move it around in case the camera picks up. It's definitely not a shine, it is a sheen. And then on this particular page, I'm just going to put my little packets back in so they don't get lost. And this page is all protected now, so if I spill anything on it or water seeps through from pages or anything like that, it's all protected. It sort of just gives a lovely finish to the whole page.